Proud to, sir. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did you choose to stand the invocation by Pastor Amy Miranda from First Assembly of God Church?
Thank you very much. Let's pray. I thank you tonight, God, for our mayor, our city manager, our city staff, and our city council members. I give thanks for the way of service they have chosen to take up on behalf of all of us in 29. We all come into this room tonight as complex human beings, carrying burdens, carrying joy and hope, trusting that you alone can hold us together in your love and peace. Help us, O Lord, to trust you more. And so we pray that you would be glorified tonight through the decisions of the city council. We pray that they would have the eyes to see how our lives are all connected. We pray that they have wisdom, strength, and courage to do what is right and good for all citizens. May they put the interest of others above their own. May they act with love for the common good. May we all be good neighbors, recognizing your image in every person here. We thank you again for those who work to make this place we call home such a wonderful city. In the name of Jesus, everyone says, amen.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Councilmember Wright,
Here.
Councilmember Scott,
Here.
Councilmember Mintz,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Klink,
Here.
Mayor Bilderine.
Here.
All present.
No closed session announcements. Change the agenda? None. Announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on demand on the City of 29 Palms website at www.29palms.org. You may also live stream this meeting by going on your website and clicking on the meeting agendas link. Awards, presentations, appointments, and proclamation. First up, introduction of Park and Rec's newest employee.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I would like to introduce you to our newest employee, Xavier Wilhite. He joined our team on August 12th, and he is here to give you a little bit of background.
How y'all doing? Hello. I'm Xavier Wilhite. I grew up in the town all my life. Basically grew up in Park and Rec, playing sports 24/7. From graduating in 29 Palms High School, I went off to Louisiana, got my degree in kinesiology and a minor in sports management out of Grambling State University. Did some stuff around the baseball community there, internships and whatnot, and I'm just excited to be here, and hopefully I can be a good influence like those were when I was in Park Rec. And yeah.
Welcome aboard. All right, next is a proclamation to Peter John Neuman for his work with the Food Pantry.
Mr. Neuman, can you come forward, please? And while you're coming up, we are here tonight at the request of the Twenty Palms Community Food Pantry to recognize Pete Neuman, a longtime resident of Twenty Palms who, for more than 20 years, has continually worked to meet the needs of our community through volunteer service. The City of Twenty Palms Proclamation recognizing Peter John Neuman. Whereas, what's that?
I say that's me.
That's you. Whereas, Peter John Neuman was born in 1931 in Middletown, Pennsylvania, and moved to Twenty Palms with his wife Judy in 2005 after retiring from the chiropractic profession. And whereas he unhesitant made himself a part of our community and quickly found a group of like-minded people who appreciated the peacefulness of our desert community, committing to maintaining a safe, family-friendly environment. And whereas he devoted countless hours to the Morongo Basin Citizens on Patrol, supporting the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department during emergencies, community events, and the Neighborhood Watch program. And whereas Pete discovered Food for Life Ministries, a community volunteer group that provided nutritional and spiritual support in our community through weekly communal meals. And whereas Pete prepared hundreds of meals every Saturday along with other community volunteers. He delivered meals to shut-ins all over 29 Palms and Wonder Valley, traveling nearly 110 miles weekly to pick up food needed to prepare those meals. And whereas Pete eventually found his way to the 29 Palms Community Food Pantry as a volunteer, and when Food for Life operations discontinued, he became a full-time volunteer with the 29 Palms Community Food Pantry. And whereas at 93 years young, Pete is still contributing to the community he had made his home 20 years ago. Now, therefore, it be it resolved that the City Council of the City of 29 Palms recognizes and thanks Peter John Neuman for his dedicated service to the people and City of 29 Palms. Your efforts and generous spirit are an inspiration to everyone. Dated this 24th day of September 2004, Steve Belderain. We're not done yet. Thank you for volunteering for everyone in our community. Your efforts and your generous spirit are an inspiration to all of us who serve. The 29 Palms Community Food Pantry would like to invite everyone to join us at the food pantry located at the Apostolic Lighthouse Church for a reception following his recognition so that we might celebrate Peter John Neuman, otherwise known as Pete. And if you would like to say a few words, and then if anybody that works at the food pantry, if you want to get up along here and they can take a picture of the whole group together, okay?
Very good. Mr. Mayor, council, folks, ladies and gentlemen, friends, wow, talk about overwhelming. That's a lot of whereases and what have yous. If I may, I need to make one small correction. Not 93. I'm 94. I'm finally getting around to maturing, so you talk about aging like a fine wine. Never happened. Anyhow, it's been a real privilege and a pleasure being able to be involved. I think back and sometimes I wonder if I really was able to do all that, particularly delivering the meals, cooking with the people, and also, quite frankly, being part of the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. It was like, are you serious? You're gonna let me in there? And we did. That was a great 13 years with them, and I figured I better get out before I turn Starbucks into a real drive-through with one of the units. So that's enough babbling. I thank you all very much. God bless. And oh, that's fine.
I'll come back. Yeah. All right. All right, moving to number 3, presentation to members of the Molding Hearts Group for their assistance with the storm cleanup. I'll go down there. I'm going to read the citation, the certificate, and then I'll call up the names. If you all come up here at the same time, we get that big group picture. For Outstanding Community Service Award, this certificate is proudly awarded to, in recognition of your exceptional dedication and selfless contributions to the community during the July 14, 2024 monsoon flood response and recovery efforts. Your commitment and tireless service have provided crucial support and comfort to those in need. Your actions have demonstrated the true spirit of community and compassion, making a lasting impact on the 29 Palms community. Your efforts serve as an inspiring example of what can be achieved through kindness, selflessness, and determination. Signed, Stephen Bilderrain, City of 29 Palms Mayor. And our first, Anthony Blackman. Eric Harris. Aiden Bell. Just right here, sir. I'm going to shake all your hands and we're going to make this. Philip Hammond. Out there in the community still serving. That's what I'm talking about. Serena Castellahan. Ooh, Castellahan. Yeah. Now also. That J threw me off at the end. Donna Marie, same last name? How do you say it? What?
That's not my last name. Oh,
Is that a different Donna Marie?
I guess so. Is there a different one? That's me. Okay, we'll mix it up.
All right, all right.
Yeah, that'll be me.
It's an alias, all right.
It's me for now.
Shay Anderson. Michaela Watson. Fiona Nicholas. All right, let me give this to you. Shake your hands, then we'll go back around. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll come back around. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. No. Y'all back up just a little bit. We gotta make this like Facebook official. Pictures in. Anyone else with Molding Hearts? All right. A little bit. Don't be shy. Smile. Suck it in. Smile. I got it. All right. Proclamation recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month. Your little speech, everything. I'm gonna go first? Okay. City of 29 Palms proclamation recognizes Hispanic Heritage Month, whereas the celebration of Hispanic Heritage Week, now expanded to Hispanic Heritage Month, was established in 1968 to recognize and celebrate the Hispanic heritage and culture of the United States, while highlighting Hispanic economic culture and creative contributions to our nation. And whereas September 15th is the anniversary of independence of Latin American countries in Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua, while Mexico and Chile celebrate their respective Independence Days on September 16th and September 18th. And many other Latin American countries celebrate Dia de la Raza. You did that on purpose, huh? I got you. To celebrate the Hispanic heritage on October 12th. And whereas the United States Census Bureau estimates the Hispanic population in the United States to be over 60 million people, making Hispanic Americans 19% of the population at the largest racial or ethnic minority group in the United States. And whereas there are more than 4.7 million Hispanic-owned firms in the United States, providing over 3 million jobs and contributing more than $500 billion to the United States economy. And whereas the Hispanic community is active in all units of local, state, and federal government, from volunteer boards to commissions to civilian employment to elected offices, and among more than 1 million Hispanics who have served and are currently serving in the U.S. Armed Forces. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the City Council of City of 29 Palms does hereby proclaim September 15th through October 15th, 2024, as Hispanic Heritage Month in the City of 29 Palms. And we call upon educators, librarians, public officials, and 29 Palms residents and businesses to observe this month with appropriate activities and programs, dated the 24th day of September 2024. Stephen Belrain, Mayor.
Hello, I am the TPHS Hispanic Club's president for the year 2024 to 2025. I'm here to spread the Hispanic culture around my school and to 29 Palms. It's a beautiful culture. I want to get out there. And so far, I've been doing well. I've been working with organizations to help expand the love and culture of the Hispanic countries. And yeah. I hope you guys will see you next year too, and this year we'll have events, hopefully.
All right. Before we move on, disclaimer, I am Hispanic, even though I don't speak Spanish, so. Yeah, city clerk likes to throw a lot of R's in the readings for me on purpose. Oh, yeah. Number 5, presentation by Morongo Unified School District, Measure C.
Good evening, Mayor Bill Lorraine, council members, Dr. James, members of the public. It's great to be here. I'm here with board member Christopher Clare, who's also the chair of the bond committee. We have David Daniels, who's the director of facilities, and we have John Cole, who's sitting in the audience, and also board member for Morongo Unified School District. Thank you for the invitation. I thought I was gonna have full house and everybody left. Like, what happened? But it's good to be here, and it's good to come and share some of the good things that are happening at the district. I want to start with a couple of things, and these are good news that I'd like for you to know. I know you're aware of of the different awards that are given out in the public or for different events, like the you know about the Oscars, right? The Oscars night, and the movies get the Oscars. And recently we had other awards. I mean, and all these awards are happening outside. Now for districts, we have something similar, and it's called the Golden Bell Award. And the Golden Bell is an award that is given to districts that are exemplary in their practices for something that they can tell in the state of California that they say, we're exemplary and we're doing this. So I joined the district back in 22 and I asked how many Golden Bells we have. At the time, we didn't have any. We have none. And I said, no, we need to highlight the good things and practice of the district, and we start looking for that. In 2023, we got and received our first Golden Bell Award for a program that's Yucca Valley Elementary School, the outside garden project that they have. So that was great news and great accolades for the district. This year we said we need to apply again and we need to try it again. The great news is that this year we're getting another Golden Bell, and it's for the works that we do with Groundworks Arts and the partnership that we have with them, spreading the arts and working with them in the community. So these are great things that are happening in our district. Now, some of you might say, but what about academically? Are we doing well academically? Well, back in 2022, we had 11 subgroups that were underperforming in the district. Nothing to be proud of, and something that we needed to take a closer look, and something that we needed to do something about. We started working together. We put together systems in place. 2023, I got invited to a meeting in Sacramento, superintendents, to discuss practices that we have. Our district had in 2023 only 4 subgroups underperforming district-wide. Now, you might think, oh, well, this is what happens with every district. The districts that go in these kind of, categories for program improvement, they stay there for a long time because it's really difficult to get out and to move districts out of this. Now, the amazing news is that this year, 2024, our district has only 1 subgroup underperforming and 1 subcategory. This is a testament to the great work that our teachers are doing, our principals are doing, our staff is doing, and the systems that we have in place. But we might think, well, everything is good then in Morongo, then there's no need for anything. Well, I want to show you a different picture, and I'm going to have Cindy, if she helps me with the video.
Thank you, Dr. Vargas. Thank you, Mayor, City Council, and members of the community. Gotta say, I'm a proud person from Yucca Valley, but you guys, you guys actually show up, which was impressive. So I appreciate you attending this evening. I'm sure it wasn't just for us, but we appreciate it. I am the chairman of Yes on Measure C committee, and I grew up in the community. I went to Yucca Valley High. I went to Josh Tree Elementary School. I went to Yucca Valley Elementary School. I have cousins that live in 29. I lived in Josh Tree at one point. So I'm definitely one of those people that have been around a very, very long time. And that was one of the impetus why I actually wanted to get more involved in the community. As you know, especially on the eastern part of our district, the facilities are old. 29 Junior is approaching 100 years old for the admin building. So think about that, how far behind we are just with the facilities. So we really have a need to put the measure on when we look at our facilities, and 27% of our actual classrooms are temporary buildings. They're the portables. Those were supposed to be short-term solutions. Well, I went to school, I hate to say it, 30 years ago, and those were already old at that point. So can you imagine what we're dealing with and what our children in our community are dealing with? We're not having the best facilities that we should have. With this measure, our focus is going to be safety first. That's going to be a huge priority because that's what, you know, when you send your kids off to school, that's a huge priority for all of us. And then the facilities, just improving them. The measure will have no money going to benefits or salary for any teachers or admin. So I know that was a concern with some folks, but no money will be going to that. Another nice feature of it, there will be an oversight committee, which will have members of the community throughout the whole Morongo Basin. And be on the lookout for that because a lot of you should try to get in there because you're going to have a lot of input as to where the money is spent and to make sure that the money is spent well. The other piece of this is this money is local. The state cannot claw back this. This money stays in the Morongo Basin, so it stays between Morongo and 29 Palms. So none of the money can be pulled out of this, and we're looking at a total of $88 million that we're looking to generate through this bond measure, which Mr. Daniels will get into more particulars around that. In the next 7 to 10 days, I know you're starting to get a lot of literature from the politicians and that sort of thing. Take a look. We have some great FAQs, some great information around the bond. Please take a second and take a look at that. That's going to be really crucial when you're trying to make that decision whether to support the bond. But we are here this evening hopeful that you will, as members of the community and with children in the schools, that you do support the bond. So we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Hello, thanks for having us here tonight. I really appreciate this opportunity to provide some more information about the bond and about what are some of the ideas and some of the projects that would benefit this end of the Morongo Basin. As you all know, community members know, recently we were able to bring online a new stadium here at 29 Palms High School, and that was one of the visions we had for one of our previous attempts at trying to pass a bond here in the Morongo Basin. Fortunately, we were able to, in the absence of passing that bond, take what little resources we had left in some of our capital expenditures, and then also some dollars we got from some COVID relief funds for some outdoor seating, and kind of piece that project together. For many of you who have been over to that facility, you also know that we still lack some infrastructure to make that an actual complete facility. So one of the things that came out of our work study with the board over needs assessment was trying to improve the parking area situation there at the stadium. And so creating a robust parking area there off of Sunny Slope adjacent to the stadium that will make it a more functional venue for not just games, but specifically for graduation, which is the highlight and the pinnacle for our school system. And so, as Mr. Clare had mentioned, many of our buildings that we have are portables. You take, for example, schools like 29 Palms Elementary School. You take schools like Condor Elementary School. You know, you have 25 portables there serving as classrooms for kids. And there's only, you know, let's see, 13 permanent classrooms in there. So by and large, you know, 2/3 of the school is almost all portable classrooms. And same thing with our 29 Palms Elementary School. We have a large and a high number of portable classrooms there. They're hard to maintain over a long period of time. You know, despite your best efforts to throw money at them and to try to keep them in the condition that they were when they rolled off the assembly line. And so we want to try to provide the best environment that we can for our students here in the Morongo Basin, and specifically speaking to this group for our kids in 29 Palms. We know we love our community here. I'm a member of this community. I spent all of my adult life here, except for a couple of years serving a mission for my church overseas and spending a few years in Afghanistan. And very proud of this community. And I always look forward to the opportunity to stand up here and be a part of it. However, we need help. Our schools need help. You know, this is how they speak for. They're not able to speak for themselves, so they do through us. And I do the very best I can with the funds that I have, and I like to think that we do a really good job. But this burden is going to be upon us, as Mr. Clare mentioned. $88 million is a lot of money. What that's going to cost each and every property owner here in 29 Palms is $39 per $100,000 of assessed value. I know that sounds complicated, but very simply it means that if you're tax assessed at $100,000 on your property, regardless of what type of property it is, you'll get assessed $39 for that $100,000. If you have a property that assesses at $200,000, you can double that, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the simple math behind it. And this is a 35-year bond obligation to the residents of 29 Palms and the rest of the Morongo Basin. As Mr. Clare mentioned, while we're taking on this debt, we own this debt, we also own what comes from it. The improvements to our schools and the potential economic impact that it could have in our area as well. So these construction projects that will come to these schools will provide jobs to people here in our area. It'll give some of our smaller contractors a chance to participate and do some of this work. If there's any large contractors in the area, it'll give them an opportunity as well. So thinking beyond what the immediate classrooms needs is, this can do a lot of good for our Morongo Basin. As we've been around speaking to different agencies and different organizations, Rotary, the Democrats Club, the Republicans, Lincoln Club, etc., both of our bargaining unit organizations. Each one of those organizations try to do a lot of good for this Morongo Basin, and the ability that they have to raise money for our area is limited. It's limited by the amount of people who are able to volunteer. It's limited by the resources that each of us have to give. But I say this, that each of those organizations combined could not be able to pull together to bring this kind of money into our Morongo Basin. It's going to come from us here locally, and it'll help us here locally. So I'm happy to take any questions you might have.
Council, questions?
Excuse me. Thank you very much for taking time out of your day to present to the City Council. I don't have any questions. I just want to say that I'm in full support of Measure C.
Public, any questions? No? Hit it.
You mentioned a performing arts center. Where would that be located?
We are
29 Palms, thank you.
we are strongly debating that. But we think somewhere in the middle. We want to make sure that it serves, both communities, and so it will be somewhere in the middle. Where we have different possibilities, but we're contemplating and we're excited about where that's going to be. So, yeah. Both high schools ask for one, but that would be a very expensive measure.
No one else? All right.
If somebody wanted to contribute to the Yes on C campaign, where could they contribute?
I'm actually heading up the fundraising for that, so I can give you my email address if you want to jot it down, or I can give it to you after.
Yeah, I'll get it from you later.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, thanks.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor Bill Lorraine. It's really great to be here. We're really excited, and we're looking forward to upgrading our schools, supporting our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 6, presentation by the Park and Recreation on Million Coaches Challenge grant that was received from the National Recreation and Parks Association.
Thank you. I'm Amy Tessier, Recreation Program Supervisor with Parks and Rec, but to many kids in 29 Palms, I'm Coach Amy, a title that I take very seriously because I do truly believe that a great coach can change a child's life. I know many council members have or hold this title as well, and I'm sure you can agree with me that you do so much more than teach a child a sport when you are their coach. For this reason, it is critical that we ensure that our volunteer coaches have the best training possible. That is why I'm excited to share that the 29 Palms Parks and Recreation Department has been awarded a grant and has been selected by the National Recreation and Park Association to participate in the Million Coaches Challenge. This competitive grant is part of a larger national initiative to ensure that youth athletes have access to coaches who are well-versed in youth development and skill-building techniques that help kids succeed on and off the field. The Million Coaches Challenge aims to train 1 million coaches in youth development by 2025, creating a future where kids thrive by working together, celebrating success, and managing failure. 29 Palms Parks and Recreation is committed to building a positive experience for our young people, which means we are committed to training 85 coaches, staff, and volunteers on how to support positive youth development by the end of 2024. Through the Million Coaches Challenge, 29 Palms Parks and Rec is receiving access to no-cost training with the Positive Coaching Alliance to offer online course training to soccer, volleyball, and flag football coaches this fall. Don't forget. You did it! Congratulations! Okay. In December, an in-person coaching workshop will be held for basketball coaches to ensure that they have the tools needed to support positive youth development. To help encourage participation in the Positive Coaching Alliance course trainings, the National Recreation and Park Association awarded 29 Palms Parks and Rec with a grant for $4,500 to be used for incentives, rewards, and training tools. Through our partnership with the Positive Coaching Alliance and the National Recreation and Park Association, we are excited to provide quality training to our coaches who will be able to make a positive difference in the lives of our city's youth. Finally, we will be actively pursuing additional grants in the future to help foster and facilitate the development and enrichment of our 29 Palms youth. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, when I saw the agenda on Thursday, I'm like, oh, I got. Yeah, I know. I know. I knew you were, so when I saw the agenda, I know what I got to do before Tuesday. So. My mic's not on, sorry. Oh, Carrie, you doing it?
It's me.
Even
tonight.
better.
I will give credit where credit is due. Scott put together a very nice PowerPoint presentation and some talking points for me to go over. I just wanted to provide you all with an update in regards to what's going on with Pioneer Days. Please explore the food and retail vendors that will be lining Freedom Plaza and join us for a day full of community fun and history. We've worked hard to encourage. Oh, he told me I was on the second page. Okay, sorry, starting over. There are many ways to be a part of the 88th Annual Pioneer Day celebration. Whether you'd like to participate in the parade, set up a booth at Frontier Fest, or volunteer at one of our events, we welcome your involvement. Show your community pride by entering a float in the parade, registering for the Classic Car and Motorcycle Show, or simply attending one of the many fun-filled activities. Nonprofit organizations, local businesses, and individuals alike are encouraged to join in and make this year's Pioneer Days a success. You can contact Community Events Coordinator Scott Clinkscales or visit the city's website at 29palms.org to learn more. We're excited about the potential for this year's Pioneer Days to foster a deeper connection within our community while offering an exciting and memorable weekend for residents and visitors alike. So thank you for your continued support. We look forward to seeing you at this year's Pioneer Days. On to page 2. Okay, so explore the food and retail vendors. Am I missing a page? Am I missing my page?
I think she's missing the first page. Do you have it?
Sorry. I'm missing the first page. I didn't want to mess it up. Okay. I'll be quick, I promise. Thank you very much. Okay. I should have just let Scott do it. Okay, so presentation outline, the 88th Annual Pioneer Days Update. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. I'm pleased to present an update to the upcoming 88th Annual Pioneer Days presentation. We'll go ahead and start with the Mara mixer, please. There we go. We're excited to have the historic Inns of 29 Palms as this year's presenting sponsor. We're even more excited to be kicking off the weekend's festivities at one of their properties, the 29 Palms Inn. Join us on Thursday, October 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. for the Mara Mixer. Mingle with the community and meet the Grand Marshals, Judge and Sheriff, and Old Timer of the Year. Enjoy hors d'oeuvres, desserts, and a cash bar, and capture fun memories at the photo booth. Tickets are available online at 29palms.org for $30 a piece, so don't miss out on this exciting evening of community connection. Next slide, please. The Oasis Lights. On Friday, October 18th from 6 to 9 p.m., please visit Lucky Park for Oasis Lights. It's our Glow in the Park party during Pioneer Days, featuring a laser light show, music by DJ Extreme, and neon face painting. This family-friendly event is going to be packed with fun. Wear your best neon or UV reactive gear for a night that promises to glow. Next slide. The Pioneer Days Parade. The 88th Annual Pioneer Days Parade will be held on Saturday, October 19th at 10 a.m. This year's theme highlights community pride. We welcome anyone and everyone to join in on the fun and show off their 29 Palms pride in this year's parade. Whether you're driving, walking, riding, or floating down the parade route, your participation will make this a can't-miss event. Entries are accepted through the day of the parade, so get your entry in now by visiting 29palms.org and get involved in this beloved tradition. Next slide. Frontier Fest. Celebrate with us at Frontier Fest on Saturday, October 19th from 2 to 8 p.m. in downtown 29 Palms. This event offers live music, outhouse races, an arm wrestling competition, and our first ever block party, along with games and activities for all ages. Explore the food and retail vendors lining Freedom Plaza and join us for a day full of community fun and history. Scott has worked hard to encourage participation from local nonprofit organizations and small businesses, inviting them to host booths and engage with the public throughout the festivities on this day. The goal is to create the opportunities for local groups to fundraise, network, and share their mission with the larger community while having fun with everyone throughout the day. There's still spots available, so if anybody's interested, we're accepting entries from organizations, businesses to join the fun. Again, contact Scott to secure your spot. Next slide, please. All right. In conjunction with Pioneer Days, there's a lot going on. There will be a car show, classic car and motorcycle show on Sunday, October 20th. This will be hosted by the Friends of the Historic Plaza. It's their inaugural classic car and motorcycle show. It is free to the public. The event invites owners of pre-1985 vehicles and motorcycles to compete for prizes and connect with fellow enthusiasts. Celebrate nostalgia and enjoy the beauty of classic cars and motorcycles in this exciting new addition to Pioneer Days, made possible in part by a grant from the city's community event program. Next slide, please. These are other events that are going to be held in conjunction with Pioneer Days. So aside from the events we are hosting or partnering in, there are other ones being held in conjunction with Pioneer Days, including Reach Out Morongo Basin's Wild Wild West Hoedown at Tower Homestead, the San Bernardino County Fire Department's Firefighter Pancake Breakfast at Station 44 here in 29 Palms, the 29 Palms Historical Society's Old Timers Gathering at the Old Schoolhouse Museum. Next slide, thank you. The 29 Palms Elks Lodge will be hosting a hoop shoot for youth. The 29 Palms Ministerial Association Sunrise Service at Patriotic Hall, Palms and Paws Annual Pet Parade at Lucky Park, and the Pioneer Days Skate Contest at Lucky Park Skate Park. So we just want everybody to get involved, let you all know that Scott's been working very hard, very diligently to make sure that this is going to be a memorable Pioneer Days. And if you have any questions, we'd be more than happy to answer those.
Council, questions? Public?
Thank you to Scott Klingscales. He deserves all the credit. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Don't turn your phone off. We're moving on to council comments, reports, and meetings attended. Councilmember Scott.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I had the opportunity of going to the Taste of the Des Dine 29 kickoff this past Sunday. I had a really great time. I just want to give a shout out to our Parks and Recs department, especially Scott Klingsdale, who's there bright and early helping out, and the organizers of the event, Ivan from the Hangry Bear, Terrence from Black Cactus. But I also want to thank my colleagues on the dais, especially Councilmember Mintz, who sat on the event subcommittee with me. Thank you for being able to have move forward on this event money. Thank you.
Councilmember Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I also attended the Dine 29. I went out there because my daughter was a host, so had to show support, and she did a fantastic job. And then I also attended the mayor's prayer breakfast this morning. Mr. Mayor did a great speech, and we really appreciate it, and we're going to keep that going. And I had a tag committee meeting with Basin Transit, because we're getting ready to give out some money for the tag grant that we do at Basin Transit. And so we had a meeting to discuss that so we could bring it to the board. And want to welcome Xavier. And also this last weekend, the Warhawks, we went to Big Bear. And so our Tiny Mites and our sophomores won, and our freshmen and our juniors lost. And I'm happy to say that my son got 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing, and 1 pick six. So he was doing pretty good. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Did you get that from his mom? Yeah. You get that from his mom? Okay. I'm playing. Councilmember Mintz?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I attended the candidate forum that was held last week. There was a lot of people there. Also, yesterday was our MDAQMD meeting. Not much went on to this meeting, just a lot of bookkeeping stuff, kind of like when we do the codes, they're trying to do those kind of things. So, and that was about it. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Welcome, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem Klink.
Thank you, Mayor Bilderain. I also attended the candidate forum, and I want to thank all the candidates for being there. I know how tough it was to sit in front of all those people and try to answer all those questions and try to get your thoughts through to everybody. It is really tough. So if anybody out there that wants to do it again in 2 years, try it out. I went to the Mountain Desert Measure I San Bernardino County Transit Authority meeting, and the discussion again is the Highway 395. If anybody that's been on Highway 395, it's a really dangerous highway like our 247 is. But they're working up there to get that to be a 4-lane highway, so they had to do a lot of, you have to get the right-of-way acquisitions and all that, and it's a tedious process, but we're working on it, and we're going to get it done, and it's going to be nice to travel up to like Ridgecrest and that area up there on a 4-lane highway. So other than that, that's it.
All right, thank you. First, I want to start off with congratulations to Mr. Peter Neuman. Service to community is hard for 1 year. Imagine all the years he's put in. So he's the embodiment of community service. So I want to thank him for everything he's done for us. Also, to Molding Hearts, all those participants, everything you do for the community, going out of your way. Welcome aboard X. I call him X because I call him X when he was little, so let's see, stay X. And he's been here about a couple of months already. Seeing him work at the gym, we talked about the Freedom Plaza bathroom issue. He's always willing to make sure the bathroom and all the kids use it safe. So he goes out of his way. So I've seen him in action, and it's good to see one of our locals back, giving back to the community, especially the Park and Rec department where he grew and thrived in. So now he's back giving it back. So it's good to see that. I did the open remarks at the CMC Job Fair last Wednesday. I've had meetings with citizens, concerned citizens. Taste of the Des, I was there, I think 2 or 3 times. My daughter kept bringing me back with her friends. I kept feeding them. So I put a lot of money in the community. So that was fun. It was well attended. The bad thing is I was there Saturday at Farmers Market eating, and I went back Sunday eating, so I won't be eating for the next couple days. So I got to lose some weight on that one. Marriage prayer breakfast this morning, and I think that is everything. Yep, that's it. Moving on, consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the City Council. The public will be given an opportunity to comment on the consent calendar items prior to the City Council actions. Council, any? No? All right. Public, any comments? No? All right. Back up here for motion.
I'll move the consent calendar.
Second.
Councilmember Scott?
Aye.
Councilmember Mintz?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Klink?
Aye.
Mayor Bilderain?
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
Items removed from consent calendar, none. Public hearing, number 11, Tourism Business Improvement District T-bid recommendation. City Council hold a public hearing to adopt resolution number confirming the levy of assessments. Is that you, Mr.? Oh. Brianne? Yeah, Brianne? Yeah. I'm sorry. If I knew it was you, I would have said you.
No problem. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. So I'm here on behalf of the Visit 29 Palms Tourism Business Improvement District. We're here as part of our annual reauthorization process. Our organization is here to promote travel and tourism to the city of 29 Palms through programs and partnerships and other initiatives. We are entirely funded by the revenue generated from a 1.5% TBID assessment fee that overnight visitors pay when they check in and stay overnight in our city. This is the public hearing stage and the last step again of our annual reauthorization, and we are here with many of the board members. I'm very much looking forward to continuing the momentum and charging ahead to our next fiscal year, which would take place October 1st, 2024 through to September 30th, 2025.
Any questions? Comments? Good?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much. I think that this past year has been a huge step moving forward. I think the events that we funded have been very successful. There's obviously, we can always improve, but you guys are definitely doing good work. And yeah, nothing else.
Thank you.
No one else, right? Open the public. I was waiting to see if it. Mr. Eric Menendez. Make sure there's no more, just one? Okay.
Hello, Eric Menendez with the Joshua Tree Gateway Communities Alliance. I would just like to say, as I said last week, our last council meeting, I think Brienne does an excellent job over there. I'm just hoping as we renew the TBID for the next year, we can get a little more oversight by the board, a little more involvement. That would be great. We did a pop-up event on our own. It took a lot of poking and prodding to get them to respond to give me use of the Visit 29 booth and so forth. We had a very good turnout in Palm Springs last week on Thursday. We're going to be there every week, so I will have a marketing proposal for the TBID board when they decide to meet in October, and it would be nice to hear back from them and engage. Thank you very much, and I'll have information in the back if anyone wants some.
All right, thank you. Back up here.
What number? Mr. Mayor, I move that the city council, well, we already did it, and we approve resolution number 2422 confirming the levy of assessment for the Tourism Business Improvement District.
I second, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Mintz?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Scott?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Klink?
Aye.
Mayor Bildering?
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
That wasn't on purpose, by the way. I don't know what happened.
All right, well, the bar said hi, T-Bid. All right, so let's keep going this way. I know you will. Just, you have our support. We'll be doing it. I know you guys are good. Moving on, discussions, potential action items, none. Future council initiated items. Council, any future ones? Are we good with what's going on?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if we've addressed this at any previous meetings, but I'd like to see work on a shade structure of some sort at Freedom Plaza. Try to maybe send that to the Arts Committee or something. And also something, nobody knows what Freedom Plaza, like that it's named Freedom Plaza. I wish that we could put a piece of art there naming it Freedom Plaza.
There's no one from PAC here?
Second.
No.
Mayor, just real quick clarifying question, if I could. So in terms of the shade structure, are you talking about in the plaza or along some of the parking stalls, or what were you
Over
thinking?
where the art is, where the youth have put their art exhibits up, I'm wondering if we could have a discussion about what type of shade is needed there.
Okay, very good.
City manager, if you look in the past plans, there was talk about shades, but we had some other things that might go there, so they want to build something to tear it down, but we could definitely look back into it.
Okay.
But there is talk in some plans of shades in a lot of that area.
Very good. Yeah, happy to look
Second,
into that.
yeah.
All right, moving on. Public comments. This is the time for the public to address the city council on issues with the jurisdiction of the city council that are not on this agenda. All comments are directed to the city council and should not consist of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during their comments. There is a time limit of 3 minutes per person. If you haven't already done so, please fill out name and address slips and give them to the city clerk. The city council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. Public comments on specific agenda items will be deferred until consideration of the item on the agenda. Leading off is Ms. Leanne Clark.
Thank you, Mayor Bilderain. On behalf of the 29 Palms Ministerial Association, we want to thank you, Mayor Bilderain, and our city manager, Stone James, our city clerk, Cindy Viescas, and also council member MacArthur Wright for being involved in this morning's prayer breakfast. There were a lot of matters that we prayed over that were very serious. We've had some criminal activity here in the high desert that's been very different than what we've been accustomed to for many years. So we just thank you for supporting that and being a part of that and spiritually supporting our community here in the high desert. Also, I want to remind everyone the final Mayor's Prayer Breakfast for 2024 will be Tuesday, November 19 at 7 a.m. at First Assembly of God Church here in 29 Palms. As Carrie shared, the Ministerial Association is participating in conjunction with the 88th Annual Pioneer Days, providing a sunrise service, 6 a.m. on the last day, October 20th, which is a Sunday. We will be at Patriotic Hall, and the local nonprofit offering recipient will be Arch. And so that's a great opportunity to be able to support our local nonprofits. If you're not able to attend the service, you can see me and we'll receive the donation and make sure that it gets to them. And lastly, to round out our year, we will be hosting the annual Community Thanksgiving Service Sunday, November 24th at 2 p.m. at the Freedom Plaza Gym. And the local nonprofit offering recipient will be, who you saw this evening, the 29 Palms Community Food Pantry. And again, thank you all for supporting the Ministerial Association, and may you have a blessed rest of the week, and thank you for what you're doing for us. God bless.
Thank you. Next, I guess it's you, Vino. You didn't put your last name, did you? You didn't put your last name? No. Okay, make sure it was you.
Mayor, let's do right in our city. The ADA law was introduced by this Senator Tom Harkin in 1988 and signed into law by the President Bush Sr. in 1990. That a place that caters to the public must comply with the ADA law. May I suggest, from the TOT collected, we give the Airbnb in our city a grant to bring their facility to ADA compliance. We can be the first city to have our Airbnb to ADA compliance. And we should also revisit all the conditions when they happen to come to this, renew the license. Secondly, one of the requirements to serve on the Tibet board, one has to be a paying stakeholder. Mr. Ben from the Reset Hotel is not a current hotelier. Councilman Wright can verify that since he was there when the policy was presented to us. I did visit Ben's site and his hotel is still under construction. I do not think he even has a business license in our city. He has not contributed $1 to the Tibet. Presently, he has not been qualified and we should do a recall. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Peter Lane?
Howdy, Mayor,
members of the City Council. I am Peter Lang, and my house is on the sandy stretch of Samarkand. I stand before you today to urge you to maintain the existing ban on utility-scale solar development in the city of 29 Palms. This ban, enshrined in our development code, which is 19.18.030, was wisely put in place in 2012, shortly after the Highlander 1 solar field became operational. The Planning Commission at that time stated, and I quote, "Commercial solar fields can be shown to have direct adverse impacts to the aesthetic quality of the desert vistas the community now enjoys, deleterious effects to the tourist industry that the community depends on, potentially adverse impacts to property values for the properties adjoining or surrounding such facilities," and that's me and my neighbors, "and potential serious impacts on the biologic, cultural, and social resources to our community." End quote. Again, that was eloquently written by the 29 Palms Planning Commission in 2012. The adverse impacts from the existing solar energy plants in 29 Palms have only intensified since this ban was enacted. The necessity of this ban is even more critical now. Industrial scale plants in the Morongo Basin have exacerbated our air quality issues, increasing fugitive dust and contributing to more frequent and severe dust storms. These dust storms may not only mar our beautiful desert vistas, but also pose significant health risks to our community. Moreover, lifting this ban would lead to the destruction of local desert tortoise habitat, a species that's already struggling for survival. The loss of scenic vistas, the unique desert ambience, and our precious open spaces would be irreversible. Our community's identity and the very essence of what makes 29 Palms special are at stake. We must not bow to the pressure campaign waged by E-Group, which threatens the welfare of our community. The health, safety, and well-being of our residents should always come first. So let us together stand firm and protect our environment, our health, and our heritage. Thank you. And if there's no questions, I'm ready for a picture. Should I stand? Any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you. We'll take pictures after, though.
Okay.
Suzanne Hyens, I say it right? Lyons.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Hello. Hello, nice to meet you. Mayor Bilderain.
Yes, ma'am. You can pull that down.
Okay.
There you go.
And city council members. So I am a part-time resident of 29 Palms, and I'm speaking also about the concerns about the solar power plant. And I live part-time in Humboldt County, and I teach science and math to future educators, and I write science textbooks, and earth science and physics are my fields. And so it's very natural for me to inquire about this proposal because of my background in environmental science and all that, and plus I live right near where this would be built. So it's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. The more you look into it, the worse it is. The information that has been circulated so far is minor in scope compared to what there is to know and investigate before such a thing would be permitted. Of course, we know about the Endangered Species Act and the desert tortoise, but there are problems with E-Group that have not been publicly discussed to my knowledge. And those of us who are really dedicating time to look at this in depth have found very big concerns about E-Group not being a reputable company, not having experience in this area, not having expertise in this area, and actually misleading our community about the supposed necessity in terms of AB 204 and whether whether they're just going to be able to build this, and all we can hope for is by permitting it, negotiating power. That is all really needs to be critically examined, because there's a lot of misinformation floating around. Neighbors and friends have started a website. It's called StopBadSolarFarm29.org. I wrote the section called Why We Are Opposed, which I'm trying to, we're going to publish, educate the public, publish the information, just so that people know what is really going on and everybody can make their own decisions and find out what are the real consequences of permitting this. So it's way too much to discuss all the aspects right now, right here. So please refer to the website. And some of us are just really eager to communicate with you decision makers, just to be sure that all the information that we can possibly provide is given to you. So I've got handouts of the website plus the website, and I just love it if you would be able to pick it up and read a little bit about it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. No more? All right. The long part. City manager's update?
Do you have coffee? Plenty of coffee up there? Okay, I won't make this too long. So just wanted to update the council and also the community that city staff, my team, we are working on the 2022 and 2023 EPA funding. This was the one that was previously allocated towards a citywide sewer project. Since that project is not going forward, we have been working with the EPA and hoping to redirect the roughly $2 million from the previous engagements into the USGS study, water quality study. And so there have been two major steps that have been outlined. I just found out yesterday that it looks like we have gotten through one of those hurdles, that we've got the EPA on board on one of those hurdles. Now we're working on the second one. So still can't predict the outcome, but we have been diligently working with our lobbyists on that, and of course our staff, and then of course over Matt Schrag, as always, has just been excellent over at the Water District. So that was a good update. That was a good email that I got yesterday. One of the things that the council has expressed concern over, and that is safeguarding our kids within Freedom Plaza. And I just wanted to let the council know that myself and Craig Stacy and Eli Marshall, we are working on those steps, right? And so there's different layers to that approach. We're working on trying to get the bids on the doors to be installed. I think that would be an invaluable addition to that project. So we're still working on that. Hopefully that will come on the next city council meeting. Can't promise that, because really we're waiting on those bids from the vendors, but that's our goal. So we'll see if that pans out. On the Lucky Park lighting project, that's something that I think the community's been pretty excited about. I know staff has been pretty excited about. This is where we were spending about $1.3 million to replace the old 22 poles, the ball field light poles, things that were stunningly antiquated, with a technology that actually you'll find on college campuses. Some of the major UCLA, some of the major SEC schools back east. And so that project's been a little bit behind schedule. Obviously, we've got one on the north side up and lit. That looks amazing. Hopefully, we're going to have some additional poles going up next week. Ideally, this project is going to be done by October 31st. We're working with our vendor to hold their feet to that fire. We'll see. But really, the success that we have had has been due to IT and Public Works, their diligence in getting that vendor to perform. So that's something that we're working on, but I think we're making in some good direction, good progress. Something else that I was pretty impressed with, this was something that our IT department had worked with along with Public Works, and that is to really help better prepare the city to serve our residents in a disaster. So 2 years ago, the city team here applied for a grant through FEMA, and the purpose of the grant was to purchase a water tank on a trailer. This would be about 1,600 gallons. This would be a double axle trailer with a pump and can do all sorts of great things. And the purpose of that is, in the event of some sort of disaster, that could be filled with potable water, and then that could be used to dispense water to the community whether it be driven around or it could be a central gathering place. I think an invaluable tool that we could use to help the community in the event that we ever had issues with the water supply. And so we submitted for that 2 years ago. We just found out last week that we got approved for that. That'd be about $18,000. And of course, as only the federal government can do, they took 2 years to approve us, and they've given us 3 weeks to reconfirm the 3 bids and then get a purchase order, select the winning bidder, get a purchase order done, and issue a check. So we've got IT. They are diligently working on doing that. Shockingly, prices have gone up over the last 2 years, so we're going to have to come out of pocket to bridge some of that gap. But at least we're going to be able to make that happen. And when that water trailer is not in use, Public Works is going to be able to put that in use on their daily stuff. So those are just some of the things that we've been working on that I wanted to provide you an update. Thank you.
Council, you all good? All right, well, as I said this morning at the prayer, let's not decide to be neighbors and friendly when tragedy happens or during a flood. All right, times are good right now in a way, so let's be neighbors and get to know each other and smile. And it's okay to not have the same opinion, but we can respect each other. So let's keep that going. And I want to adjourn this meeting in memory of Vonda Stanley.